everyone, this will be update number 3 and it has been a little while. I've actually just started on tray 8. I started on that yesterday, and as you can hear, I still have my lisp. It hasn't really gone away. A lot of people say that they only have their lisp for maybe a week or two, and this is the first video that I've done with my trays in as well. So the previous 2 videos, they didn't have the trays in, so you probably wouldn't have heard the lisp, but yeah, it's still there, and I'm still quite self-conscious about it, being on the phones quite a lot at work and in meetings. So yeah, still getting used to it. I notice it sometimes more than others. So like now filming a video, I'm very aware that I've got a lisp, but I think in casual conversations I'm not aware quite so much. And it also is probably, I've just had my lunch, so I've just put them back in. So just that kind of like half an hour out of them while you're eating, and then putting them back in, it feels a little bit alien again, just very briefly. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on how I've been finding things. I did record a video after, I think I was on tray 3, and then I just didn't get around to uploading it. So I thought instead of popping that one out there, I'll just kind of do a little bit of a condensed couple of weeks just to show you what's been happening. So I guess what I recapped in the original third video was I found weeks 2 and 3 really difficult. I had a lot of pain, headaches, like tension. The teeth were moving quite a lot, and the trays were really tight. And I thought at one point, is this what it's always going to be like? A lot of people will tell you that whenever you change into new trays, that you get a little bit of soreness and they feel really tight for a day or two. But I was finding tray 2 and tray 3, they were really painful for kind of 5-6 days, and even kind of like moving into the next tray, so kind of like my whole 7 days. And then when I changed into tray 4, all of that completely changed. I put in tray 4 really easily, and then the first time I took them out, they just kind of like popped out. So 24 hours just made a massive difference just by changing those trays over. And thankfully since then it has been quite straightforward. I'm not having any problems with like the maintenance and the cleaning side of things. There are a couple of little niggles other than the lisp that are getting to me. So one being that I'm not used to the gaps, so where a couple of gaps are popping up, mainly kind of like here and then here, I guess you just move your tongue around, and then all of a sudden you'll catch your tongue, and it's like, ow, that really hurt, because it just pinches. And it's just where you're just not used to the structure of your mouth and your teeth, they're changing. So that's catching me out a little bit. And the other thing, which some people may see as a good thing, but I like my food, so I've not been snacking very much. I'll kind of cram in all of my food, like 3 main meals, maybe 4 of them I need a quick snack or something for like exercise, but I'm used to kind of grazing throughout the day, and I'll snack in the evenings, and that has not been a thing, because as soon as I finish my evening meal, I will do all my kind of oral hygiene and pop the trays back in, and that's it for the night. There's no more snacking. No matter how hungry I get, I am not going through brushing and flossing and all of that again. So yeah, I miss snacking, but it's probably a good thing that I'm not snacking late at night, and I'm not just helping myself for food like throughout the day. I guess they're probably like the main ones. The other one, I only get half an hour for lunch, so I used to go for a walk, and it's enough time where I work to kind of go down by the beachfront and then walk back to the office, and then kind of just snack on your lunch in the afternoon. And now where you've got to kind of clean your teeth after eating, you can't just snack whenever you want to and have your lunch if you're working and you need to be called back onto the phones. I don't want to get into the habit of doing that and then not kind of cleaning my teeth or forgetting to put the trays back in. So I've been spending my lunch breaks, instead of going for my walk, just eating and then doing the whole kind of like clean your mouth and pop your trays back in. So yeah, missing my lunchtime walks, but I guess that may be something that will come with routine later down the line. And I guess the long goal is having nice teeth, and you know, that's probably the most important thing at the moment, and just try and fit my walks in at other times. But it is nice to get out of the office, and I'm not really doing that at the moment too much. Just going back to the lisp as well, I know a lot of people are polite and they'll be like, oh, I can't notice it at all, I wouldn't know. Somebody I know who couldn't notice the Invisalign, they're like, oh, I didn't know you had Invisalign. They were like, what's wrong with your voice? And I was like, oh, I've got braces, so I've got a lisp. And they're like, oh, that'll explain it. I didn't notice that, I couldn't see that you had braces. So on the plus side, they couldn't see that I had the Invisalign, but on the negative side, they were in their head thinking, you know, why is she lisping all of a sudden? And it does remind me of when I had my tongue pierced years and years ago. I worked as a waitress, and when I served tables that evening, I stupidly had my tongue pierced on the same day as a shift. I went over to the tables and I was like, would you like any sauces? And I was just like really lispy, and it just reminds me of that, and just that kind of like whole self-consciousness. But yeah, I hope it will get a little bit easier. I definitely think the lisp is still there and still quite bad. I guess as well, like on a positive, is that even though this is only my 8th tray, even a couple of weeks ago people were saying, oh, you can really notice your teeth are straightening up. And I guess you can't really see because I've got the braces in at the moment, but like this one, the big main one, that is now kind of like, it's not overlapping the other one, so there's a gap between the two teeth, and it's kind of straightening up. It's not so wonky anymore, so it's not kind of like angled in towards the other one, and it's also kind of like it used to rotate, so it's kind of unrotating itself, it's straightening up, and there is a bit of a gap there. It is still sticking forwards, but it already looks better because they're not overlapping and it's not wonky, or it's not as wonky. And then definitely down here as well, the overcrowding is so much better. The gap is opening up quite considerably now, where they're going to be putting in the implant, and that's a little bit weird because I can get my tongue, when these aren't in, I can get my tongue in. Oh, there's a really big gap, which is a little bit gross, but I'm sure it'll be worth it. I have mentioned it before, but I think when I'm on tray 15, I get something called a pontic, which is inside the braces. They'll just kind of pop something in so it looks like another tooth, so the gap won't be visible. So I'm quite looking forward to that. At the moment, I don't think it's too bad. I notice it, but I don't think it's too bad because it's back here. But I think in a few more weeks it will be fairly visible. What else have I got on here? Oh yeah, the main thing that I kind of wanted to mention was that I use the Invisalign app, and my dentist did say that it's quite a new thing, and they got me to set up an account, and I have to take pictures every week before I change my trays over. So I use the little thing, pop in your mouth, opens your mouth up, and I take pictures with these in, and you're going to do it like an open by, and then you've got to take these out and still leave the retractor in, and then bite down at the back. And overall you take 9 pictures, so at different angles. And what I thought was your dentist giving you some feedback for the first 6 trays was just, I've done it quite late at night. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening. Submit the 9 photos, and almost like I think 5 minutes later you just get some what feels like generic feedback saying, oh, you're making good progress on to your next tray. And I'm just like, it's such a pain to have to remember to take these pictures. But it's like a virtual care thing, so they are meant to be able to see if you need to come in earlier or you don't need to come in on your next scheduled appointment because you're making okay progress. But actually at the end of tray 7, it was later than usual. It was about 9 o'clock, so I didn't finish work and everything until fairly late, and I was just cooking dinner. That gives me time to run upstairs, take the pictures, get them out before I go down and eat my dinner. So took the pictures as usual, went downstairs, had my dinner, and as I was finishing dinner I had a text message and an email that was like, oh, your teeth are lagging behind a little bit, can you continue wearing the trays for another 3 days? I'm like, oh, I'm not moving on to tray 8. which is why it's Monday today and I changed over on Sunday, and I'd normally change over on Thursday. They said I'm still on track, but there's just a couple of teeth that are just a little bit slow progressing. So hopefully by wearing the tray for another 3 days has caught them up a bit, and now I'm moved on to tray 8. Yeah, that took me by surprise. I genuinely thought it was just a generic, well done, move on. And I'm like, there's no point in doing this. But that has restored my faith a little bit that this Invisalign app is beneficial and worth using. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the main updates at the moment. There's not really anything else to say other than, apart from trays 2 and 3, it's been absolutely fine. I haven't had any problems. I did wonder if tray 7 had slow progress, because this tooth over here, and it's happening with tray 8 as well actually, it doesn't sit very high up towards the gum, and it feels a bit spongy, like it's not fitting properly. I did mention it to my dentist, but I'm seeing them again next Monday, so I'll probably mention it again, that it just doesn't feel like it's gripping. And I do wonder if that's maybe why teeth aren't moving as much as they should do. And it's only been a problem with tray 7 and tray 8, so fingers crossed next week it will be back to normal, but it is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, I think overall I'm happy with the experience so far, and I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to the routine, and I just hope a couple of things like the lisp and like snacking start to annoy me less as time goes on, and as soon as I start noticing that, oh wow, they are actually straightening up and moving into the position that they are going to be in hopefully forever. When the dentist did tell me to keep these in for another 3 days, they did give me a bit of a telling off, which I thought was a bit strange. They were like, oh, make sure you're wearing it for 22 hours a day and use your chewies religiously. I do wear them for 22 hours a day. Maybe there's been a couple of times where it's been like closer to 21 hours. But I'm quite good at like preparing my food, then taking them out, then eating. I don't put them back in straight away. I try and kind of have some water and then kind of brush my teeth and everything. But yeah, I've been really good with wearing them, and I use my chewies religiously to the point where I've broken one, and they've said that the chewy should last like in length of the entire treatment. But yeah, one has actually split, so they're meant to be hopping another one in the post to me. But yeah, I normally chew on them for kind of like 20 minutes after putting these back in, because I just find it eases the pain. So I did find it weird that I got a bit of a telling off, but I guess they're used to maybe some people not following the rules, and they're just assuming that I'm not following the rules. But yeah, hopefully I'm back on track now. And yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. I don't know when I'll do the next update. I think it's only worth really doing these videos when I do have some significant progress or something to update you and myself with. But yeah, I'll do another video soon without these in, just so we can go back and we can compare the start of the treatment versus where I will be at. But that will probably be in a couple of weeks, I would imagine. But thanks for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Bye.